Are you self-employed and in need of cash because your business has been affected by coronavirus? Then this video is for you. So I wanted to do a video in particular about the self-employed income support scheme. So this was announced quite a while back and was expected to hit us in about June. So I'm going to talk to you about the highlights now, but if I talk too quick or you don't take all the information in, go to healandassociates.co.uk/COVID-19 and you'll see there a whole list of everything I'm about to talk about, and also the links to the HMRC guidance if you really want to read that, but I'm going to give you the overview now, so hopefully you won't have to. If you're enjoying this video and you want to see many more like it, make sure to click that subscribe button right now while it's in front of you and get updated the minute another video comes out. So the scheme is designed to pay 80% of your monthly income. So this is really the self-employed version of the furlough scheme. So people who are eligible for this are the self-employed. We're not talking about limited companies. They can access furlough depending on their situation and everything else. You've obviously got loan schemes and other things going on, but this is purely around the self-employed support grant. And this is a grant, so it's taxable and it's not repayable. It's not a loan or anything like that. And the idea is they're going to take some data and give you 80% of your monthly income. The guidance says it's going to be paid in one lump, so it's going to be paid for March to June, so it's 3 months worth. It's capped at $7.5 grand, but it's going to be worked out based on your taxable profits over the last 3 years, or over 2 if you've only got 2, or over 1 if you've only got 1. In order to be eligible for this, you need to do a few things. The first one is you need to not earn an average trading profit of 50 grand over those years. So you can earn less and things like that because they're going to average it, but overall you can't earn more than 50 grand. You must have been self-employed in the 18-19 year and submitted an 18-19 tax return, which is a really important point. At the time I'm recording this video, which is after the 23rd of April, you now don't have a chance to submit one because they wanted to prevent fraud. So if you're late and you're going to miss out. That's a hard deadline. There's no way around it currently. But if you've submitted your 18-19 tax return, you're okay. And the biggest one that we're seeing a lot for clients, which is knocking them out, is you need your self-employed income to be at least 50% of your total income. So if you had sort of a side hustle and you had a main job and your main job was your main job because it was your main income, you won't be able to claim. Your income's going to be more than 50% of your side hustle in most cases, otherwise I presume you'd have moved over. So in that particular instance, you won't be able to claim either. So it's those 3 things: under 50k income, you've submitted your 18-19 tax return, and your average trading profits over those years are well over half of your income. So you can have a loss in 1 year. So if you've got 3 years and you've got a loss in 1 year, but overall it works out still that you're over half your income, then you'll be okay. There's actually some HMRC examples of this in a grid, and I'll link those in the guidance below. And what you can do is go and have a look, but you can see. So it's okay generally to make a loss in a year as long as it sort of averages out, is the best way to explain it. Where we're seeing clients get caught out is a sad example, really. We've got in one particular instance a successful professional who's earning nearly 50 grand in 1920, so the year literally just gone, the tax year just gone. In the 18-19 he started, so he only had a couple of months income. Now he came out of his job, so on his tax return he's got the majority of his incomes for his job, and then he's only got a couple of months of trading before he started properly. So from his point of view, he's traded ages ago, but he's actually going to be ineligible for the scheme because of that 18-19 year. They're not going to look at the 19-20 tax return at all. There's no point getting it in order to claim this grant. As an accountant, I'm going to tell you to do it early anyway because it's a good idea and you can see where you are with your finances and your future tax bills. But unfortunately for this grant, again, they're not going to take it into account, presumably again because of the ability to potentially be fraudulent with what you're doing, and in the same way they're not going to take any last minute amendments into account. And I mentioned it at the start of the video, but in order to claim this, you need to have been adversely affected by coronavirus. It's there to support you. So if your business is absolutely booming because you're selling hand sanitizer or something like that, then you're not going to be able to claim. But I haven't seen a business yet that's not been affected in some way by this virus. Now, originally they were talking about claims being June. They brought that forward now to the 13th of May. And I say the 13th of May, that's what's in the guidance, but actually for reasons we'll go into now, it might be a little bit later, but regardless, it's been brought forward and we're hopeful to see money into people's banks around the end of May, based on what we've seen. So what they're saying is that right now there's a tool that you can use. It's called an eligibility tool on HMRC's site. If you go to healandassociates.co.uk/COVID-19, COVID-19. We've put a link in there so you can go there and play around with the tool. Now, the reason I want you to go there and play around with the tool is because you'll be asked to create a government gateway. Now, if you're self-employed and been doing your own tax return, you'll have one of these, and that's fine. If you've got a business tax account, fine. If you've got a personal tax account, fine, you'll have a gateway. But if, like many of our clients, you rely on your accountant to do it, and that's what you pay them for, in this particular case, HMRC have not had the time to build an agent access to this. So us mere accountants will not be able to help clients claim this. In fact, we don't even know what the screen looks like at the moment because it's not available to us. So all we can do is help you answer any questions that come up on that. But for now, what we do know is that you will need a government gateway to access it, and you will need your UTR, that's your reference on your tax return, it's a 10-digit number, and your national insurance number, which hopefully you've got somewhere but can also be found on a completed tax return. So what you can do is you put those in, and they know, they will tell you whether they think you're eligible or not, and they'll give the reasons why you might not be, and they might advise you to go and talk to your accountant who might be able to explain it. So I've seen a lot of that. I've spoke to a lot of clients, as of the team today, where we've been talking people through why they wouldn't and the reasons. And it's disappointing for some people for sure, but unfortunately they had to draw the line somewhere, and there are many people that fall through the cracks. So if that's you, I've got massive sympathy, but from a fraud point of view, I think they just had to cut some lines in places, and that's what they've done. So that's where we are. So for now, the action to take away from this is go on, use the tool. And I mentioned earlier that actually they give you a date between about, the ones I've seen a date in between about the 13th and the 18th currently as we're recording this video, but I think they're staggering when people are going to apply. So it sort of gives you a date as to when you can apply that. They're saying don't contact us, in fact you're wasting our time, and they will contact you with further details on how you can apply nearer the time and what you've got to do. But you will need that government gateway, so again I would try and do that in advance so as not to flood the system when it comes around to it if you haven't already got one. If you're thinking of using this scheme or had any experiences with the checker, please do let me know in the comments below. I'd love to get your feedback and be able to pass that on and see any issues as they appear. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want more live updates, make sure to check out and follow me on Instagram. It's @Dan Healan. You'll find it, I'm sure. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.